Welcome, everyone. I'm Reverend Terri Newlon of EnlightenedHumanity.one, because we are all one, and EsotericLiving.love, which is a retreat site. This is July 31st, 2025, and this is our World Service Booster. We do a broadcast once a week that is personal growth and then also to benefit all of humanity, animal kingdom, plant kingdom, mineral kingdom, and the planet itself. So our focus this week, which actually starts on a Tuesday every week, is clear all negative thinking. We practice this together as a group, so it's a little bit easier. There's a private Facebook page for feedback. And what we do once we do that, it's a Tibetan clapping exercise. We've cleared negativity out. So we want to put something back in. As they say, nature abhors a void. So what we're putting back in is I am self-love. Self-love is the goal, basically. Love thy neighbor as thyself. Can't love your neighbor if you don't love yourself. So it's a beautiful thing. And then you can also add things like joy, 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 or abundance, or whatever comes to mind. All right, so here we go. I'm going to channel Djwhal Khul. Funny spelling, but do all cool is how we pronounce it. DK, the Tibetan, also famous in the Alice A. Bailey books and a few other places. There are other channels around the planet that do his work. I have worked with him since 1980, so 45 years now. All right, so I'm going to go into a conscious trance and start channeling. Djwhal Khul here, Tashi de Lake. Tashi de Lake is a Tibetan greeting. Namaste means my highest self sees your highest self. And thank you for listening to this broadcast. All right, so negative thinking seeps in through and Kim, we are recording for a YouTube channel, so you've been informed. We are basically interconnected, and when the negative thoughts run through the mind, many people just simply act on the negative thought. They go and get revenge, or they say something hateful, and so on. When you're working with enlightenment, you're working to transcend old patterns, old subconscious programming, and you're looking to lift the frequency, the vibrational frequency for everyone on the planet. So the ultimate goal is world peace. So to clear all negative thinking, you can start with a thought like, whatever that thought might be, or you can just start clapping to clear whatever happens to be swimming around in the subconscious mind. So it's about 33 seconds at least. You can go 3 minutes. You can keep going with the exercise because it will turn into a very deep meditation. So you keep the elbows down, or the shoulders down, pardon me, elbows together. And welcome, Christopher. We are recording for a YouTube channel. So as long as you're aware of that. So you want your elbows in close to your body, as close as they will go. And then we clap right in front of the face to break up all negative thinking. I'm going to go quite some time with this now. I'm not going to stop at the 33 seconds. Sometimes what you notice is the shoulders start creeping up and you start breathing a little bit more as the negativity is rolling out. You can do this on your own behalf. If you have children under age, you can do it on their behalf. If you're working with section of humanity, a congregation, or whatever it happens to be, or just as oneness for humanity. You can do it that way too. All right, let me scoot back here. Shoulders down, elbows in. Keep breathing. You're allowed to, if something is coming up. Notice how this makes the third eye feel while you're doing it. Might be a little bit intense there. And then when you drop into the automatic response, this becomes a moving meditation, and we're in that realm now. You literally could do this for a few hours. And now we want to bring in the positive input. I am self-love. I I love myself. I love all of humanity. I love the planet. I fill with joy. I choose peace. Good. All right. So that is essentially the exercise this week. We change the focus every week. It's geared toward current world events. And we are open to questions about current world events if anyone would like to ask. And if you're watching on the YouTube later, because this is not live on YouTube, you can make your comments there as well.
DK, do you have any comments about the volcanic activity off of Russia?
Yes, I just increased the volume there. Comments on volcanic activity off of Russia. It's not the only place on the planet with the activity. It is increasing, just like the human body. You know, if you scrunch a shoulder, then you're usually compensating somewhere else. The planet is the plates of the planet, just like the cranial plates in the head, are getting squished, and they have to make room and squish back. And they have to release pressure, basically. Also, there's a karmic connection to these. So we'll be seeing a lot more fire erupting because of the war on the war. Russia's trying to overtake not just Ukraine, but other places. And Iran is helping them do that. We've been, for those that don't know, the enlightenedhumanity.one and the at channel teachings on YouTube, the focus of world service is literally to go out on the ethers, and we move around the planet. So we have time travelers, basically, traveling in the ethers and doing energy work, trying to calm fears, quell hunger pangs, whatever we can do, sort of in accordance with the angelic kingdom, which has the main focus, but we ride in on their work. So I get to observe what's going on between countries, between leaders, what a particular leader's physical health looks like, what their mental health looks like, etc. We are taking the whole picture into consideration. So Iran is feeding Russia some more um, weapons. We see Russia's very depleted in weapons. They're also depleted in terms of food banks and other necessities for their people. And I think they wanted Iran to directly strike Ukraine for them, and Iran said no. At least that's the intel, if you will, on the inner planes.
Thank you. Is there any news about Mount Rainier in Washington?
Mount Rainier in Washington, U.S.,
Mhm.
um, is also very active underneath. I'm looking very far down into the earth. There's some rumblings. That entire ring of fire, as it's called, is volatile right now. So you're going to have more quakes and such. We're trying to buffer Japan as much as possible. And then in the Russia area, there's also nuclear concerns there, where there is a nuclear leak from what happened there. So we're underwater nuclear leak. We're working with friendly ETs, just going to really put it out there, not hold back with how I word things, to help with that because they have the technology to neutralize the nuclear and the radiation and the other damage to the planet, or at least buffer it to some degree or contain it.
Thank you.
Mount Rainier does stand a chance to erupt, maybe within a year and a half. Let's do a little energy work around the equator. I want to kind of wrap a ribbon around the equator of the planet, like we're just putting almost a bow on it. To the equator is literally kind of, top and bottom like that, if you can see it in that motion. The We want to kind of put a seal around it to just sort of get the gentle feeling that we're keeping things together. And that looks better already. The planet is having a hard time. Uh, Likewise, coming from the center of your solar system, the sun is sending out some very severe weather. It does travel literally through space, and it does smack against the earth. And we look at your atmosphere on the planet, and it's got radiation holes in it. It's got kind of a Swiss cheese look, basically, which is not good. That should be filled in. So the other energy work that can be done on a regular basis or just through prayer or any other method would be to um, uh, strengthen the aura of the planet or strengthen the atmosphere. And you've got a lot of junk, as I call it, junk or objects floating around in your orbit there. So those eventually crash back down, or they crash into each other and then they crash down. It's littered, basically. It's too busy, and they're not always disclosed. Some of them are going up secretly, and some the ETs are working on deliberately making them fail. When they try to launch, they don't quite get there. So there's some of that going on too, especially if there were something nuclear aboard that they want to be floating around in a satellite. The ETs will deprogram it or fail the launch. Right. Anything else?
Can you speak about the new virus that's going around that seems to be attacking the respiratory system?
Yes. I know they gave it, letters and numbers, but they call it the latest variant of the COVID. Um, and I want to be very clear about this. The COVID-19, as it was called, was an object, basically. It was laboratory created. It's not an organic virus. So to assume that something that basically is a little robot can produce variants is not the way we see it from the spiritual realm. What we saw initially is that they had rolled out at least three, plus a bird flu, plus some other things that they were going to basically pandemic, create certain, use them basically for political gain, was one of the main political and economic gain. And then the COVID-19 was the first tester to see how humanity would respond to um, fear marketing, and it was highly successful. So media was fed, everybody's fed. There was a coronavirus, and it had marks on it. It was laboratory created, and was supposed to be originally programmed for a 3-week incubation period, which is why you heard that right away in the news. And then the laboratory person who created it went against his supervisor and programmed it for a 3-day incubation period. So they went down from, to 5 days and then 3 days. And they realized people were no longer willing to go into submission and hide in quarantine for weeks and so on and so forth. So it kind of, in a good way, spent its time, if you will, in that people became more resilient. Now, if you're combating a natural virus, you can do colloidal silvers prevention, you can do sambucol, elderberry, you can do quite a few things that um, prevent or strengthen the immune system, let the immune system fight it off, etc. However, when it's man-made, it it doesn't usually respond to the natural things. So colloidal silver doesn't kill a robot, basically. So this latest one they're picturing is a blue color with the corona, crowns. As the COVID-19 had the red picture, this has got a blue one. Um, Symptoms: sore throat, fever, then kind of a lingering uh, cough with sore throat. This first channel, who normally does not get sick because she's always preventing, just recently had something similar, the similar symptoms. Total period of experience was 36 hours. Started with the immediate kind of fever, clammy, um, tremors, clammy cold tremors all at the same time. Followed a couple hours later by the very severe sore throat, can't swallow. She squirted colloidal silver in the back of her throat and drooled onto a towel, just doing the best she could to kill the active whatever she could kill. Plus, colloidal silver is anti-inflammatory, therefore helps with pain. And when she was able, she took some other, Mucinex. It did attack the lungs. It went into the lungs and started producing a thick yellow mucus along with that kind of a quiet cough, not a big, whooping cough or anything, but it was productive in pulling up that. So she used Mucinex to correct the lungs and nebulizer to correct the lungs. She's an asthma person, so she's got all that stuff on hand. Um, the So 36 hours of active and then recovery time was about another day, and then the voice was raspy. It came back to normal. It can be done quickly. Now, what they're rolling this one out right now to distract from what's going on with President Trump and the Epstein/Maxwell pedophile ring. I'm going to always include her in that. It wasn't just his thing. She was the mastermind and perhaps did more damage than he did. So we'll include their names together henceforth, or I will. The distraction, any distraction. And then the other distractions are, I'm going to go to Israel and Gaza. Finally, other countries are telling Hamas, get out and back down already. Enough is enough. So we hope to see some shift there because Netanyahu is not going to comply. He doesn't care. He would just as soon see Palestine completely eradicated. So it is a genocide at his hand. And they're trying to blame Hamas, but it is at his hand. So this, again, latest variant hitting in the summertime is, again, that's one of the things it's distracting from. Any other questions about that? Or comments?
How is it mainly being circulated, person to person, or through the atmosphere, or how is it being propagated?
Atmosphere, in the air. It's in the air, and so outside air, as a matter of fact. They tell you if you're outside, take off the mask. If you're inside, put the mask on. Well, it's the atmosphere. It's in the outside air. I don't highly recommend wearing a mask because previous experience showed us that people were getting pneumonia just from too much moisture wearing the mask. And then they were so afraid they would wear the mask while they were driving in their car alone, while they were home alone, and at all other times. And it was double pneumonia, basically. So got to pay attention to the body, be careful, and chapped faces and all kinds of things. If you are going to wear a mask, make it natural cotton or the N95 that's made in Indiana. Do not purchase things made in China to stick against your face. Even the little metal adjusters are radioactive. So stay away from made in China. I will say there are plans or plots to put it into the food supply. That's coming up next. Learn to feel into your food. Put your left hand on it first, or even before you buy it. And it can even be a bag of frozen vegetables because it can survive freezing, cannot survive heat, but it can be frozen and come back. So put your hand on it, left hand, or under it, and ask, how would my body feel if I ate this? And if it's like, ugh, don't buy it. Put it back down or don't eat it right then. brush the hands off and, kind of maybe shake them out or whatever, and then go to the next thing. Your body will tell you ahead of time. It'll even tell you if a, piece of chicken is contaminated or an egg is contaminated. Listen to the body and just don't override it. By the way, I do want to mention your business, the ombe1.love, ombeone.love. And I'll see if I can get Terri to learn how to put that down in the comments on YouTube. For products and services, thank you for your world service work. It's very much appreciated. And the U-QI, I'm very excited about that as a global remedy.
Thank you.
Right, I think I'm going to close for today, and then we'll see what happens next. As always, thank you and my love to you.
Thank you.